Go ahead.
Everybody, this is Nancy Whistler, friend of mine. I haven't known her very long, but I think would fit right in here. So I think she's got some real interesting things to show y'all later.
Nancy.
Nancy?
Nancy.
Nancy what?
Whistler.
Oh, Whistler.
Like the Whistler's mother?
Like the painter.
That's the relative that keeps on going on the other side.
Whistler's daughter.
We've already got her, Nancy, scheduled to do a program, so she is fitting right in.
Nancy, have you met everybody now? Or?
No, I haven't, but I'll go around. And,
Well, why don't you just start and go around and give your name?
I
to
know
yourself?
Emily.
That's it, I'm Barbara.
And Barbara. And Linda.
I'm Josie.
Josie, hi.
Ronnie.
Oh, yes, and Ronnie.
Colleen.
Cody?
Corrine.
Corrine.
Corina.
Corina. I remember that
And my
name.
son, what she said.
Mason?
Mickey.
Nikki. See, I don't hear either.
Mickey Teddy.
Nikki.
And I'm Tony Owen, and this is my husband Eddie.
Oh, over yonder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, this fellow in green.
No, I know the fellow in green is.
That's
Fellow
the other
carrying
Eddie.
food.
I've totally forgotten my name.
I'm Bill Jones.
And I'm Ed Page. Okay, so don't get this Ed and that Ed mixed up.
No. It doesn't matter if I do, it just
And I'm
she.
sorry.
Just look for the handsome one, that's all.
Efton. Edwards.
Pleased to meet you.
He worked at the store.
Okay, the
Office with my daughter.
program tonight is on Roadrunners. And back in the spring and most of the summer, we had a pair of Roadrunners hanging around the house. And I really got fascinated at some of the antics they pulled, and so I started reading up on them and doing a little investigating, and it really got interesting. I've always had a interest in animals, birds, whatever, and whenever I see them acting up, I try to find out why they're doing what they're doing. And I've seen 18-wheelers, you know. There's a company, Roadrunner, hauls freight and stuff. And you see different Roadrunners come up on different signs and things. And now to me it takes on a whole new meaning, knowing the background of the Roadrunner. And Roadrunner is also known as a chaparral cock, which it's a long-legged bird found in parts of the southwestern United States and Mexico. In the Southwest Indian legends, Roadrunners are usually notable for their speeds, and they're a lot faster than humans, and for their bravery, Roadrunners love to kill rattlesnakes, so they're good to have around, and they've got a strong endurance. The greater Roadrunner can outrace a human, kill a rattlesnake, and thrive in the harsh landscapes of the desert Southwest. They reach 2 feet from their end of their sturdy build to their long tail. They have a bushy black crest and a mottled plumage that blends well with dusty shrubs. As they run, they hold their lean frames parallel to the ground, and the long tail acts as a rudder. That's how they make the short turns. They use their tail for a rudder. And they have recently, just within the last few years, they've been spotted in Louisiana and Missouri. So, they'll eat just about anything they can catch, and they can catch most things. They eat small mammals, reptiles, toads, frogs, insects, centipedes, scorpions, birds. They kill rattlesnakes by pecking them repeatedly on the head. They slam large prey such as rodents, mice, lizards. They'll take them and grab them and beat them against a rock or something to break the bones, and it elongates them, makes it easier for them to swallow. Yeah. The male greater roadrunner when it comes to nesting time, he does the gathering. He gets the twigs and things to make the nest, takes them to the female, and she builds the nest. Now the nest usually has about a 4-inch cup in it. They'll be about 17 inches in diameter, which I was surprised at the size, and about 8 inches deep.
And they're on the ground?
Pardon me?
And they're on the ground?
No.
Where are they?
Yeah. And when they have the young, they will continually building up the sides of the nest to accommodate the young.
They build them trees?
Okay. Now, the nest placement, that comes next. That's what you was asking. Okay, the pair chooses the nest site, usually 3 to 10 feet or more off the ground on a horizontal branch or in the crotch of a sturdy bush, cactus, or small tree. It'd be well shaded, well concealed, and is often located next to a path or stream bed that the roadrunners use to carry nest building materials and food for the nestlings. Their breeding populations have been stable for quite a number of years now, so they're not in danger. And according to the North American Breeding Bird Survey, Partners in Flight, they estimate the breeding population at 1.1 million, and 62% are in the United States, 38% are in Mexico. And one of the things, a shift in their habitat due to people building and everything. Well, like 2 weeks ago, we was in Michigan, and I said something about the pheasants. My sister said, well, I hadn't seen any pheasants around here for a long time. I said, Gene, we passed 5 places when I lived up here. I used to pheasant hunt. One of them is now a mall. 2 of them are subdivision. I says, you don't find pheasants in malls. And I said, that's one of the problems with civilization keeps expanding and using up the habitat for the birds and wildlife. Actually, that's the biggest threat there is to roadrunners. True to their name, the greater roadrunner races along roads, stream beds, and well-worn paths, defending a large territory, chasing lizards, rodents, and insects. Roadrunners can jump straight up and snag insects and all out of the air. They can catch bats and even hummingbirds. And a roadrunner is very poor in flying. They can fly for short distances, and they'll be low to the ground, but they are not known for their flying ability. That's why they're called roadrunners. I guess it's because they stay on the ground and run. And they, the male and female, they'll patrol their territory, usually about a half mile in diameter. And they are very possessive of when they mark out their territory. Usually the male will get up on a rock or a branch or something elevated around the perimeter, and it's really not like a dove, but it's a cooing sound he makes, and that's how they mark their territory. back, I'm sure most of us remember the daily Saturday cartoons where you hear, beep beep, he's gone, Wile E. Coyote's up here with an anvil on his head or something. And to me, that was always my favorite cartoon. But, a Roadrunner can run about 20 miles an hour. A coyote will run up to 43 miles an hour.
There's a
The
proposition.
Roadrunner, a coyote can run over twice as fast as a Roadrunner. So in open territory, a Roadrunner hadn't got a chance. So the cartoons really had things kind of turned around, which I always figured that the Roadrunner outruns the coyote, but that's not the case. And
That's why the Roadrunner had to outsmart the coyote.
now here's some cool facts about Roadrunners. Roadrunners hold a special place in Native American and Mexican Indian legends and their belief systems. The birds were revered for their courage, strength, speed, and endurance. The Roadrunner's distinctive X-shaped footprint with two toes pointing forward and two pointing back. Their footprint is an X. And that's used as a sacred symbol by Pueblo tribes to ward off evil. The X-shape disguises the direction the bird is heading and is thought to prevent evil spirits from following. Because when you see their footprint, it's the same going both directions. So the evil spirits doesn't know which way it's going, so he can't follow. And the Hopi and other Pueblo tribes believed that the Roadrunners were medicine birds and could protect against evil spirits. Their unusual X-shaped footprints are used as symbols, as sacred symbols to ward off evil in many Pueblo tribes, particularly because they invoke the protective power of the Roadrunner themselves, and partially because the X shape of the trap conceals the direction in which a bird is headed, thus throwing the malignant spirits off track. Stylized Roadrunner tracks have been found in the rocks of rock art of ancestral southwestern tribes, like the Anasazi and the Mogollon cultures. Roadrunner feathers are traditionally used to decorate Pueblo cradle boards as spiritual protection for the baby. In Mexican Indian tribes, it was considered good luck to see a Roadrunner. In some Mexican tribes, the bird is considered sacred and never killed or any parts used. But most Mexican Indians use the meat of the Roadrunner as a folk remedy to cure illness or to boost stamina and strength. Roadrunners are also used as clan animals in some Native American cultures. Tribes with Roadrunner clans include the Zuni, and I'm not sure I'm going to say this right. The Roadrunner clan name is Poyi-Kui. And I'm not guaranteeing I'm saying that right.
That sounds good. Yeah, we see it.
And other Pueblo tribes in New Mexico. And although speed is its ally, it's relevant to the Roadrunner, can do several things at once and isn't bothered with completing one thing before moving on to the next. This is partially due to its great mental agility represented by the crest on its head. Many native cultures believe a crest symbolizes quick and efficient thinking capabilities. Those with the medicine have ability to think quickly on their feet, flow with rapid change, and understand the proper use of speed. Because the Roadrunner is always thinking of ways to get what it wants, it reminds those with the medicine to use its ingenuity of their minds. If a problem occurs, think yourself out of it. Highly intelligent Roadrunner medicine people have the mental capabilities to fix or change any situation. Procrastination is not part of this medicine. Roadrunners remind us that mental alertness, speedy action, coupled with the right use of sound, always produces a harmonious outcome. And so, anyway, that, I don't know, them, Roadrunners, they're fascinating. And if you ever get a chance to really watch them, more than just see them run by, now they spend a lot of time on that new grass back beside my shop. So I could sit there in the window and watch them. And that's what kind of got me interested in them, because I had, up to then, I'd never really paid much attention. You see them run by and run across the road or down the road or across the field or something. But when they're out there for 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and you got a male and a female there messing around and doing their thing.
Well, now, when they marry, it's for life, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for life. When they mate, it's for life. And a lot of times they'll come back and use the same nest that they used the year before.
I saw a dead one of them, I don't know which one, going up the hill on 312 down this way. And one of them got run over and the other one was standing there with its head down and it's like that, just standing there. It was sad.
Yeah.
It really was sad.
Yeah, when they mate for life.
If you ever get a chance, get to Wichita Falls, they got a little zoo that works there, wildlife,
A nature preserve, it's not a zoo.
whatever it is. And they got some there, and it was feeding time, and this guy went out there, a young guy, and he'd come up there and landed on his arm. He gave him a mouse, you know, and he just sat there, and I took some close-up pictures of the bird.
He's in an enclosed area because he was injured and he can't be released into the wild. And he imprinted on this fella that works there. He follows him around, and fella, you know, gave him a mouse, but he followed the fellow's name was Kevin. He followed Kevin all around trying to give Kevin back the mouse. He was gonna
Give it back to him?
yeah, and he would sit on Kevin's arm and he would let us stroke him a little, not too much, but it was really interesting if you ever get a chance to go there. It's a really fun place. And another fun thing that we learned that I don't believe that we swore it was true, he had a brown recluse spider in a little containment, and he took it out and let it walk on him. He says they won't hurt you unless you squeeze them or squash them or they feel threatened, and then they'll bite you.
If I understood it right, they couldn't bite unless they got down closer to the skin. You know,
Unless they were compressed.
get inside your clothes or
And
something.
he offered me to let it walk on me, and I said,
No.
that's okay, I think I'll just pass. But it was a very interesting place. We
But
enjoyed
the
it.
good Lord put spiders here for some reason, but me and spiders, we try to keep our distance from each other.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, at any given time, there's a spider within a foot or two of me, and I'm always looking around.
I guess y'all aware George Jordan's wife got bit. in one of those things
She
recently.
was in the hospital for a while.
And she got to go to the hospital for several days, and she's out now.
Now, she got her stitches out the other day.
Anyway, that's my little program on the Roadrunner.
I've got something to say about the Roadrunner. Out in my place, I had 4 Roadrunners who became friends. I'd go out and work in the garden, or go out and do some work, and they'd come up maybe 6 foot and, from me, and that was year before last, and they were there every day just waiting for me to come out the door. And then all at once they disappeared. But now you mentioned my question though, there's a lot of coyotes out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what happened to them. But they walked up, you know, very, very close to you. And I'd look for them every morning when they go out. And,
Wonder if you had a mouse, probably.
I didn't realize that about the Roadrunner, but that's it's interesting, Ed, appreciate it.
I think if we got a visitor to show a few pictures, and then she's gonna give a program like this in 2 or 3 months. And tell her, everybody tell her what she is or what she needs. Because we tried to tell her that a lot of people around here refer to themselves as being Black Dutch. And we had to hide their identity. So she brought some pictures of her family.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, show
the pictures and
This is my great-grandmother, Sarah Whistler. She was the great-granddaughter of Chief Pawachek. And
She's a state name.
yes, she worked as the agency interpreter and stuff, you know, for when, and this was in the National Archives. Actually, this wasn't even a family picture. Well, it's a family picture, but my daughter sent it to me, and she got it off the internet. Well, because she's in the National Museum of,
And
you
what's
know,
her name?
she was Sarah Whistler.
And
her
what
name
trend?
was Whistler?
Her name was Whistler because, you know, she married
Oh, Whistler.
a whistler.
Fox.
Do you know what?
There goes my name,
Do
huh?
you know what her name was?
Goodell. And it was
Indian
Mitchell, and
Indian
before
name?
that. Hmm?
Did she have an Indian name?
She did have an Indian name, and you know, I've got it written down in there, but yeah, they have an Indian name for her. And then my uncles also, I had 2 uncles that were chief of the Second Fox.
And
And,
tell her what Indians they, around here, there's other Cherokee, so.
yeah, they only know Cherokee here.
Just about.
Well, that's kind of why I came, because, you know, when Afton said, Second Fox, what's that? You know, and it makes you feel kind of bad that your tribe is so small or so, you know, basically wiped out that people don't even know what Sac and Fox is, you know. But anyway, these are that's my dad, and that's his older brother, Don Whistler, who was the first elected chief of Sac and Fox. And then Rex Whistler, who was also a chief. And like I said, you know, you see them in their headdresses now, but they weren't. I mean, they all had, my Uncle Rex was a geologist who taught at the University of Oklahoma. My cousin Bill was a district court judge in Oklahoma. My cousin Dave